Hi guys, Fuck Raven here another day with you, and well, I'm officially in Spain for Christmas. I had some technical difficulties because this computer is not mine, it's my girlfriend's, so I hope that you can see this well. Well, as always we do, we first check what enemies we have, and this is amazing because we have so many battleships. We have this Minotaur that, low detectability, the Sow, and the Rune could utterly destroy us. And well, we have the Habaros also can actually destroy us if he gets near or far. And well, the other two are not especially, but they are in a platoon, so we have to take that into account. And we are with the Fletcher, the Tier 9 American destroyer, and this was my first play after I developed all the modules. So I'm quite happy with the ship, and it is gorgeous. It's an amazing ship. I mean, if you look at the history of this ship, it's just breathtaking. It was the workhorse of the American Navy in Second World War. 175 cruisers will, I mean, destroyers will build in Second World War out of the Fletcher class. And well, I mean, in the game, it's an astonishing destroyer that I fully recommend because you're gonna see this was my maximum damage in history. It's crazy. So we discovered this destroyer, and he pops smoke. That is not the best thing to do because the first thing I'm gonna do is torp him. And when you pop smoke like this, if you're gonna stay in the smoke, you stay with your rear pointing to the direction that the torpedoes are gonna be incoming. If you see, guys, I'm gonna get to this corner of the cap because if I'm in this corner and he launches torpedoes at me, I can easily get into the corner, and the torpedoes are not gonna hit me. So well, that's a good strategy that I recommend you all to do because it works well every time, especially if you start in the south. And well, the torpedoes approach, and we see one hit, and the guy is flooding, and boom, first kill. And that's our first destroyer. You're gonna see a lot more of that in this game. But check out that even though I killed the destroyer, there is still someone in the cap circle. Could be another destroyer, could be the Minotaur. But if the Minotaur gets a bit near me, I should detect him first, even though he has low detectability. The Habaros could not be because we detect him, and if he was around, we would see him even, unless he's behind the smoke. But the torpedo should have got him, so we have no idea where it is, and we are detected. And here we see the German destroyer. And well, this is another thing. If you see, he's looking at me and he's thinking like, should I drop torp? But he's not dropping torps because I am in this, part of the island, that he can actually not get me with the torpedoes. And amazing position, fully recommended it. Bad thing is that, well, you see that mostly of my shells are impacting the imaginary top of the rock that you see there. And I pop my smoke because I don't want to attract too much attention. I'm not moving, so it's better to just pop the smoke, and to help, and get ready for incoming torpedoes. And we see that he actually shot the torpedoes thinking that I was gonna go backwards, but well, he didn't got him. And now I'm looking at the smoke thinking I'm gonna launch you my torpedoes if you too can play this game. And we see their shells going through the smoke. So we know that more or less where he is. So we just drop our 2 tubes, and well, let's hope that we get this guy. What do you think that we're gonna do, guys? You think I'm gonna get him? Oh well, and we have here the Habaros. More annoying than anything else, but well, it's a good destroyer. I love my Habaros. And well, let's. Oh well, what do you say about that? Yeah, my second destroyer. This was especially good because taking out 2 destroyers in the beginning of the game, it's gonna make the game super easy for me, and you will see that I will utterly destroy the enemy. And well, as I'm not gonna comment, all my gameplay, because you're gonna see me most of the time just get into smoke, start shooting and dropping torps, start shooting and dropping torps, and that's what I'm gonna do the whole rest of the game, and you're gonna see the amount of damage that I do. Curious thing, you see that the guns are so loopy that we can actually loop the shells on top of the island and hit the enemy behind it. Well, I don't fully recommend this, but hey, from time to time it could help. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can torp the enemy Wookiee, but he's going backwards as we see in the indicator, so better just go out and seek another. I'm gonna comment some of the parts that are more interesting, like some duels that I have, but we are gonna talk about the story of this amazing line of ships. As I told you, 175 Fletchers were built in Second World War. And out of the 175, 19 were lost in combat, another 6 were not repaired, so the full amount of destroyed in combat or totally wrecked is 25 destroyers. And out of the when I was searching for the history, out of all the 175, I could account 10 that were destroyed by kamikaze attacks. I'm not saying that kamikaze attacks is the way to go, but well, it's highly effective, no? Because more than half of them were destroyed by kamikaze attacks. So, well, I'm not saying that it's good, but I'm saying that it's highly effective. Oh, a cool thing that's happening right now. I'm shooting from smoke because someone else is spotting the Havaros, but I'm shooting him AP. AP works extremely good against the Havaros because it has the metal plating and a bit on the front and a bit on the back. It has 50 millimeters, so it lets the AP actually, do the damage, because it arms the shell. So, well, that's something that you guys could learn. If you see a Havaros, shoot him AP. You will probably penetrate. Because if you actually shoot HE and it hits the 50 millimeter plating, it's gonna scrabble. So it's not gonna work. Another thing, you see me shooting at him. We see him shooting from the smoke, but the thing that I want you guys to know is that when you're shooting someone that is in the smoke, shoot lower, because my shells are going all on top of him. And I'm just here trying to think like, hey, I see the tracers coming out of him, but I'm not hitting him when the tracers are coming. That's because all my tracers are looping on top of him. So it's better just to shoot lower. That's what I learned from this engagement. And well, now that this guy is gonna die, let's talk about some famous Fletcher destroyers, because 175, I'm pretty sure that some of them saw some shit, no? And it's true, some of them saw a lot of shit. Actually, I'm gonna tell the story of 3 Fletcher class destroyers: the USS Cavalier, the USS Joel, and the USS Johnson. Let's start with the Cavalier. The Cavalier actually had an engagement with the destroyer Yugumo of the Japanese Navy. And the curious thing, we talked about this in the Yugumo episode, but the Yugumo launched a torpedo at the Cavalier, hit him, destroyed him, and the Cavalier shot in return and hit the Yugumo and destroyed him. So, well, that is... Next time that you see a Yugumo shooting torps at you and you die at the Yugumo and the Yugumo dies at you, think that was real. And, well, let's talk about the USS Johnson, the USS Joel, because they were both Fletcher destroyers in the Battle of Samar. This battle was the only real engagement that the Yamato, the Tier 10 battleship of the Japanese, had in the war. And he encountered 2 Fletcher-class destroyers. What actually happened is that the Japanese tried to make a pinza on the American fleet that was disembarking, and I think it was in the Solomon Islands, I don't know, some of you will tell me. And what happened is that, one of the pinzas got destroyed, and the other one reached the target and found a force called Tavi 3 which was a force of some cruisers and destroyers escorting the main force of carriers. Well, not the main force as in the American fleet, but as in the place. And the amazing thing about that, is that the Japanese got the jump on them. And here's when the USS Johnson and his skipper, Ernest Evans, won his Congressional Medal of Honor. What did he do? Well, when he spotted the Japanese fleet, he reported that, but all the destroyers were waiting for orders. He didn't wait to receive the orders. He charged against the Japanese fleet. So he went for the fleet, and the Japanese fleet with the battleships and cruisers started opening up on the USS Johnson even before they could shoot at him because the destroyer wasn't in range. So he got near the formation at 800 meters, or yards, more or less the same, and he fired a spread of torpedoes to the cruiser Kumano, which is a Mogami class cruiser. And he actually hit the Kumano. And he took the front of the ship with him. The Kumano had to fall back and go back to Japan for repairs. And well, of course, the Japanese were shooting back at the USS Johnson and sustained heavy damage. What do I mean heavy damage? Well, 14 shells of the battleship Congo landed on the USS Johnson and utterly destroyed the front of the ship and especially the bridge. The skipper turned back to the back of the ship where there was a steering wheel and started steering the destroyer and put a smoke screen and start repairing. At this time, the American fleet received the orders to attack with the destroyers, and the USS Johnson supported the USS Joel in attacking the Japanese fleet. Let's talk now about the USS Joel because it was like a sister ship of the Johnson. He went and tried to attack the battleship Congo and made a torpedo round of him. Of course, Congo shot at him and he disengaged. He recognized the battleship, like the Congo, as a battleship, and he saw two heavy cruisers, so he thought, hey, I might have better chance to stand, in front of two heavy cruisers than in front of the battleship. Yeah, that was a mistake. Those two heavy cruisers were the battleship, I think it was the Hakuro, and the battleship Yamato. And the Yamato opened fire on the Yoel, and well, between the Yamato, the Hakuro, and the Congo, utterly destroyed the USS Joel. Remember that USS Johnson was supporting USS Joel with gunfire, so they saw how the USS Joel was destroyed by the combined fire of three Japanese battleships. Do you think that took him out of the fight? No. He still charged, he still supported the fire, until one shell from the secondary batteries of probably the Yamato, hit the boiling room and stopped the destroyer where it was. At that time, they were still in a smoke cloud, and the skipper, at that time, without an arm, got the command to abandon the ship. When they were abandoning the ship and in the middle of the sea, they saw a Japanese destroyer approach the wreck of USS Johnson and fired a final salvo into the structure to make sure that he was going down. What surprised the American sailors is that the commander of the Japanese destroyer was on the bridge saluting the wreck of the destroyer, as it was such a worthy opponent. And this is how the USS Johnson and its skipper, Commander Ernest Evans, won the Congressional Medal of Honor. And well, victory! An amazing victory, by the way. I mean, 200, almost 250,000 damage, maximum I've ever done. 13 torpedoes, devastating strike, Confederate, first blood, high caliber, 11 floodings, 2 fires, man. But an amazing game, an amazing game. I used to love my Yugumo, but after I get this guy, I'm not gonna play it anymore, so I sold it because this is the perfect embodiment of a torpedo boat and a gunboat. It's the perfect medium between one world and the other, and if you can have both worlds together, well, it's just that good. And I fully recommended it. I mean, it was amazing. And also, as you can see, guys, I did almost not double, but a lot more damage than the second guy in my team. And I don't want to say carry their asses, because they were a good team, but I certainly did a lot in this game. And well, this was, of course, one of a kind game, because all the enemy battleship fleet came through one side, and that was the side where I was, and I just scored torp after torp after torp. And, well, that's the good thing about this destroyer. That is the perfect embodiment of a torpedo boat and a gunboat. And I used to love my Yugumo, but I'm not playing it anymore, because why would I play it when I can have the best of both worlds? And that is the Fletcher. So, guys, go and get it. And, well, as always, if you like this video, like and subscribe, because it helps the channel a lot and me to know what you guys like. And I hope I'll see you all in the next episode of World of Warships. See ya.